My name is Muteti. I am the founder and executive director of Daughters of Kenya. I was brought up in the rural eastern Kenya. My dad was an activist and a human rights defender, and my mom was, and still, she's a teacher. Well, my dad is late now. So I liked what my dad used to do with the communities, helping people in the community, and something that I ran with. Even after my parents took me to university to do information technology, I got a job as a PA to the minister and changed my career. I went back to school, University of Nairobi, and pursued a Bachelor of Arts in social work. So after my schooling, I got a job. I worked for two organizations. The first organization was called Center for Multi-Party Democracy as a gender officer. And the second, I worked like 6 months, then I got another job. In the next organization was called Kenya Leadership, the Caucus for Kenya Leadership by one of the leaders women in Kenya. When I was there is when I started saying, this was 2014. I started saying, now I want to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to start an organization that empowers the girls and the vulnerable girls and the young mothers. Because back in the village, I experienced some sad situations where girls would mess themselves, go to school without shoes, not continue with school because boys have to learn, and some of those gender inequalities, I decided later in life I will start an organization. Without further ado, let me go quickly to what we do in Daughters of Kenya. Daughters of Kenya is a national trust that works to change and improve the lives of the vulnerable girls and young mothers in Kenya. As you can see, that's one of the projects I'll talk about later. You've seen the bags we have there. These are the young mothers, and they are part of the program. How do I take next, please? Our vision is a society where the vulnerable girls and young mothers are empowered to be able to realize their full potential. In the mission, we have three mantras actually, that we rescue, educate, and empower the vulnerable girls and young mothers. As I told you before, we believe that women are catalysts of change, and we have 3 values. Love. Despite where someone comes from, we always show love. We respect them, and value their dignity. And the last one is hope. Next, please. Our areas of focus. We have 4 thematic areas. Education. In education, we foster education. Education, you know, that is SDG 4, because I'm SDG advocate. This is the SDG 4. Protecting women against violence and all forms of violence, FGM, child marriage, and all forms of gender-based violence. That is gender equality, SDG 5. And then we have SDG 8, which is sustainable livelihood and economic empowerment for sustainability. And the last one that we introduced this year is the sexual reproductive health and rights. Next. Oh, I try? Okay. Under education, you can see that is one of our success stories. The lady you see there, she was a beneficiary and she graduated. We partnered with Kenya Institute of Social Work and Community Development, and we were able to take girls to school. That girl you see there, she's one of our successful beneficiaries, and she's now working in a health sector because she did a diploma in community health and development, The other one, education, you can see some ladies with books there. I met Dr. Mara Harvey here in WIN 2018. I'm so grateful for WIN. Yes, and she liked what we were doing. Dr. Mara sits in the Plan International board, Switzerland, and then she did a book, the SDG book for children, and she decided to gift Daughters of Kenya the book. And when I received the book, it was very, very European, setup. So I got some partners in the country. I'm at the SDG Kenya Forum and also the UN Agency Sustainable Development Solutions Network. And we were able to come with this copy. You'll find it there, this copy of the book. It's called A Smart Way to Start Doing Good. We illustrated the book into African setup. If you see the pictures, they are very African. And we also translated this book into Swahili. I'm happy because we were able to launch the book this June during the International Day for Children. Dr. Mara came all the way to Kenya. I'm so happy. We launched this book. And the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development is the one that came on board and was able to facilitate the launch. I'm happy because the discussions are going and the book is being validated. It's going to be part of the curriculum in the country. And in that, is going to be one of the subjects to be taught in the primary schools about SDGs. Thank you. Yeah, about ending violence against women, you can see we do a lot of sensitization and advocacy. We have collaborated with an organization called Beyond Hope Transition Center. A total of 61 girls have been rescued from FGM, and 34 girls have been rescued from child marriage, and we have enrolled them in school in a county called Kajiado. These are the Maasai. And also, we are Daughters of Kenya is part of a number of, alliances, both national and locally. And we are in these ending violence against girls and women. We are actually, we just launched, we are part of the steering committee of Mulika Wabakaji. Mulika Wabakaji is Swahili name to mean touch the sexual offenders, rapers. And then the objective is to raise awareness on sexual gender-based violence, increase accountability to rape, defilement cases, and shape the public narrative on SGBV. SGBV is sexual gender-based violence. And also, we are also part of the Girls Not Brides. I'm sure you've heard about Girls Not Brides, head offices in UK. But in Kenya, I also sit in the steering committee, and we are all together fighting to end child marriage. Yeah? These, you can see some features there. We did, for the first time this year, we did the International Women's Day in partnership with WIN, and those were some of the speakers who came on board to speak. And the other one down there, we did in the community International Women's Day, and we partnered with around 6 organizations, and it was amazing because we reached up to 100 women in the community. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, Uzima livelihood. Uzima livelihood is what you see, what I'm wearing, the kind of clothes you saw outside there. I've not put the photos here, but now we have a project that we are supporting 20 women. We bring them on board, they train for free, we don't charge them. And once they train, we identify the best who can do the good outfits, and that's why we call it Uzima is a Swahili name to mean life. We believe we are giving life to them, and we believe we are also creating life to the organization. It's a social enterprise to give us funds as an organization, as well as sustain the women. As you can see, we support the women to develop skills and practice in our own social enterprise workshop. We have a workshop. We partnered with the Asian community of Kenya, and we were able to have the electric machines. And currently now, you saw what we are making. I believe they are beautiful. Yeah. You can see we create a wide variety of products from bags to reusable pads and partner. And we also partner with organizations to reach the market. Like before I came, there's an organization that ordered for 200 bags. And all the proceeds go to training women, mentoring them, and also sustaining the organization. Livelihood and economic empowerment, that Uzima is part of it. And now we also have the Chanwa Dada. Okay, sorry. It's not there, the picture is not there. Chanwa Dada is a Swahili name to mean flourish our daughter, flourish our daughter. And we have put women into different groups. We partnered with the D-Group Foundation, and we've been able to put women to 4 different groups. We have registered them formally, and they can be able to access resources on their own. They can apply for grants on their own. Our work is just to mentor them and show them the way. We don't interact with the secretariats. We don't we don't enter into their accounts. They are able to get money on their own. And now we are happy to have the new government that is talking about bottom-up, that is lifting these organizations' locality so they can apply even grants from the government. And our work is just to mentor them and talk to them. We are happy to see ourselves having such groups, and they can do things on their own. So that is, for us, that is powerful tool to just mentor them, let them get resources on their own. They have their own secretariat, their leadership chairperson, and they can do their thing on their own. And this is TICO project. In the Hands project is under the Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights. TICO project, it's also called In Their Hands. It's a sexual reproductive health project. We have partnered with Triggerize from, it's an NGO based in Netherlands, but they also have an office in Kenya. And we are, under this project, we have 60 girls. They are able to know more about their health, HIV status, and they are able to access the health, what do you call them? Health information, and also to control their birthing so that they can be powerful, you know. If you don't teach these young women about these stories, especially those living with their partners, they can end up having so many children, and they won't even focus on their own personal life. So this is a very exciting project because they also earn some TICO miles, and these TICO miles help them to do shopping for their home, like weekly, and take to their home. They don't get cash money, but they can be able to use the TICO miles to go to TICO shops and do shopping. Please, if you can follow our page, Daughters of Kenya, especially in Facebook, you'll be able to see all these things I'm talking. You'll see the kind of shopping they do because we also post there sometimes. I talked about the registrations of the self-help groups. The Chanwadada project. Yeah, I talked about the sexual reproductive health, and this is the book now. This book now is the latest project that we are doing with Dr. Mara, and we are looking forward to do great work in Kenya. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Knight. You don't escape. Come here. Whoa. Yeah? I can see a question, comment, observation over here.
That was impressive, Knight. What drives you personally to do all this?
Well, I would say first, it should be within you. Growing up, I really wanted to help the vulnerable girls and young mothers. It should be just organic, not forcing, because this is not easy. It's more of a calling and also a passion. Yeah, and now that I was telling my friend now, I feel Daughters of Kenya is established now. I just want to oversee and move outside and other do the work. That's why I'm even back to school. I've just finalized my MBA in strategic management. I want to move my career, but always oversee Daughters of Kenya. Yeah.
I thank you. It's inspirational what you have just shared. And I think the reflections that I'm having, hearing you speak and the previous speaker, is how many limitations and oppression women face across the world. And that actually us in democratic countries and developed countries, we don't have those oppressions and limitations, and yet we talk so much about the issues that we are facing. And that also reminds me about this need of the inner work, the inner fire, inner power, that we can all step in, no matter what circumstances are there. And I think there is this need for all of us, no matter where we are in the world, to do that. And what you just shared, it's a very good example of stepping into that inner power, breaking the stereotypes, fighting with biases, breaking your own limiting beliefs. And I think that's something we need to do in developed countries as well as across the world. And one thing that I would really want to do for myself when I'm thinking how to help other women, how to empower other women, I'd like to work to offer some voluntary support for women for whom coaching is not accessible, to help them to step into their inner power, to fight their limiting beliefs, to start from there, because external circumstances, sometimes we cannot rely for them to change. no matter where we are. So that's something that I want to put out in the universe. If someone is interested in that, that's something that I'd like to do. I'd like to work with a number of coaches offering volunteering coaching for women to help those women who cannot have access to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to let Nazi ask a question or make a comment and then come back to you, Knight.
Okay, I just want to make a short comment, and I just want to say how proud I am of Knight. So I met Knight in 2015 here. I think it was 2015 in Rome.
2017.
2017. Okay, so I met her at one of the WINConferences, and she had just started Daughters of Kenya, and she was looking for collaborations, connections, and all of that stuff. And she was on a young women's panel. And the year after, I actually wanted to travel to Kenya, and I wanted to see her project. So I actually got to see Daughters of Kenya in action, and I have to say the amount this woman works is just absolutely incredible, considering her circumstances and where she had come from, and she had just limited resources, but she gave that all to Daughters of Kenya. And so I sit here as a proud mother of Daughters of Kenya, and all I can do is just wish you all the best. And I know that you're going to make more connections in this win and just take Daughters of Kenya very far.
Thank you. Thank you, Naz. She has a question.
Last quick one. Embedded command.
Yes, mine is just congratulations. I'm really proud of you. You are strong, you were powerful, you were resourceful, and I think you are a great role model for young women in Africa and elsewhere. So I'm here. I'm here. We are all here to network and support initiatives like that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Knight. Is there any last thing you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to encourage women who would like to start such initiatives. I have to tell you the truth. The genesis is very tough, but anything that does not have a struggle in the beginning, it calls for question. It has to start very tough so that you can build a foundation on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.